My sister-in-law refuses to give her daughter anything other than breast milk, despite the baby not gaining enough weight, and we are worried that her breastfeeding journey is becoming more important than the baby's health. This is not about me, but about my sister-in-law. I am neurodivergent, so I apologize if I talk about a sensitive topic in a way that is not always correct. I am doing my best not to offend anyone. I also do not have children and I am 19 years old, so I probably do not know what I am talking about, but please, if anyone can help us. English is not my first language, sorry. My sister-in-law, Julia, gave birth 2 months and 3 days ago to a small baby girl weighing 2.85 kilograms named Amanda. We live in Europe, in a country that strongly promotes breastfeeding no matter what, so Julia was very determined to breastfeed. The baby lost a lot of weight in the first week, I do not remember exactly how much, and since then she has been seen by several doctors. In her first month of life, the baby gained weight up to 3.2 kilograms. My mom asked Julia several times to give the baby formula because she was crying constantly and showing clear signs of hunger. My mom breastfed all 5 of her children and is very supportive of breastfeeding, she was just extremely worried about little Amanda. But Julia kept refusing, saying that only her milk counts and that she would not poison her daughter with formula. At her monthly checkup, the doctor said that Amanda was starving and needed to eat. After that, my sister-in-law started seeing multiple lactation consultants. They told her to pump all day, to supplement feeds with expressed milk, and so on, but she refused to give Amanda a bottle because she said that if she introduced a bottle, Amanda would never latch again. Instead, she started giving around 20 milliliters of milk after each feed using some kind of feeding tube placed in Amanda's mouth. I do not know what it is called. Amanda did not gain any weight for another week and a half, even though she was nursing every 3 hours non-stop. Each feeding session lasted more than 50 minutes, plus the supplements. Julia then asked her mom friends for donated breast milk and started using that milk the same way to supplement, because she could only pump about 50 milliliters extra per day. At that point, Amanda gained a little bit of weight and reached 3.45 kilograms. Finally, about a week and a half ago, another lactation consultant told her that she needed to supplement every feeding with 80 to 90 milliliters of expressed milk, and she started doing that. Amanda finally calmed down and began gaining weight, and she is now at 3.79 kilograms as of today. They also checked her tongue tie, and she did not really have one, just a slightly thick frenulum, which they fixed the same day about a week ago. Today, my sister-in-law visited another lactation consultant, who told Julia that she can now reduce the amount of supplemental milk since the baby is gaining weight, and that they want to test whether Amanda will continue to gain some weight over a week with a lower amount of supplementation. My mom is terrified by this idea because she does not want to see Amanda starving again, especially now that she has finally started looking pink instead of gray. My brother does not really care and just follows whatever Julia says. The lactation consultant also did a weighted feed, but only for 20 minutes because they had other patients, and in those 20 minutes Amanda transferred 25 milliliters of milk from the breast. We do not know what to do. We know breastfeeding is important for babies and mothers, and we admire all women who do it, but this has turned into complete madness. Julia talks constantly about breastfeeding and pumping, breastfeeding and pumping. There is nothing more important to her than nursing. We have told her several times that she is a wonderful mother and that she should relax about this, try to reduce stress, and that sometimes other options can be better for both mother and baby, but she does not listen. She is doing power pumping once a day, which is a pumping technique meant to simulate the frequent, short feeds of a baby during a growth spurt, taking supplements, pumping regularly 8 times a day, and she only leaves the house to go to a medical appointment or a lactation consultant. Amanda does not even go for walks in a stroller. The only time Julia takes her out is when they drive to an appointment. She is now able to pump around 100 milliliters per day, and the lactation consultants are telling her that she will soon be able to exclusively breastfeed Amanda, except that if feeds continue to last around 50 minutes without supplements, Amanda would be hospitalized. We want Julia to be happy, but she says she is happy when Amanda is breastfeeding, and that the most important thing for her is experiencing her breastfeeding journey. We do not know what to do or how to talk to her, which is why I am here asking all breastfeeding mothers if this fight is really worth it. Edit. I have been responding to comments, and I think this information is relevant, so I am adding it here as well. My sister-in-law said she will never introduce bottles and that breastfeeding only counts if the baby feeds directly from the breast. If it were not for donor milk, Amanda would already be in the hospital. She is 9 weeks old and looks like a newborn. The pediatrician is very much a breastfeeding at all costs type, but even she was close to deciding to hospitalize Amanda, according to my brother. My brother said he no longer recognizes Julia, but that he will only take action if the baby ends up in the hospital. He said he is afraid to say anything because Julia might think he is criticizing her and her parenting. She refuses any mental health evaluation because she says it would ruin her pumping schedule. My brother told me he had to force her to do the supplements because she did not want to, and he threatened her with divorce. The doctors are also involved and monitoring the situation closely and are ready to intervene. Lactation consultants are not state certified in our country and charge a lot of money per visit. None of us have ever seen the baby in real life. We are not trying to hurt anyone or make Julia feel bad. We are not allowed to bring her food because after giving birth she said we were trying to poison her, so we keep our distance. My brother is doing everything in the house. Julia does not even let anyone in because she is constantly breastfeeding and pumping. We used to have a good relationship, but now she says we want to poison her. We were friends, so this makes me very sad. No one in the family has seen Amanda in real life, even though my brother begged her to let us see the baby. Someone on another subreddit told me to leave Julia alone because she is doing the best she can, so I will not talk to Julia anymore, and my mom will not either. I feel bad for being worried because it seems like there is no problem here. I hope I did not offend anyone with this post, even though it seems like I did, and I am sorry. Update 1. I posted the first part of this story earlier in breastfeeding and parenting subreddits, and people made me feel like a monster because the mother knows best. For context, we are in Europe. I am sorry for my English, and I am also extremely emotional right now. My sister-in-law, Julia, gave birth to little Amanda 11 weeks ago. From the very beginning, Amanda barely grew and mostly lost weight instead of gaining it. My country is extremely pro-breastfeeding, and Julia decided that she wanted to breastfeed. However, Amanda was not gaining weight properly and dropped to the 0.1 percentile for weight. Julia forbade my mother and me from visiting them, saying we would poison the baby by bringing food. This was shocking, especially because before she gave birth, we were good friends. Because of that, we have only seen Amanda through photos and videos that my brother has been sending us. One time, my mom said she was worried because Amanda looked hungry, crying, writhing, and putting her fists in her mouth, while Julia narrated in the video that this is what a happy, full baby looks like. My mom then asked whether Julia could give Amanda a bottle because she still seemed hungry. Julia completely lost it and cut us off entirely. She was pumping, but her supply was not increasing at all. Amanda had a tongue tie corrected, but it did not help much. Julia was supplementing feeds with donor milk through a feeding tube, I do not know what it is called. Every week they went to the doctor for weight checks. This is where things became really bad. They were there yesterday, and yesterday my brother called us crying, saying Amanda was in the hospital. This is what happened. As usual, Julia asked my brother to get her coffee before the weigh-in appointment while she used the breastfeeding room to change Amanda's diaper, as she always did. Except this time, a nurse walked in to ask Julia about some paperwork. The nurse saw that Julia was feeding Amanda with a bottle right before the weigh-in. The bottle contained 150 milliliters of milk and was already half empty. The nurse said Julia was supposed to wait to feed the baby until after the weigh-in. Then my brother walked in. He became very angry and said Julia refused to give Amanda bottles, so what the hell was going on? He took the bottle, and at the same time Amanda vomited very thick milk. The nurse panicked, checked the bottle, and found that it was filled with milk mixed with rice cereal. The doctor who was called in immediately ordered Amanda to be transferred to the hospital for emergency evaluation, especially after seeing Julia completely lose control, throwing things, and screaming at everyone that she would feed her baby however and whenever she wanted. We went to the hospital to see my brother. By then, Amanda had already had blood tests done, which showed some problems with her kidneys, liver, and vitamin and iron levels. The doctors said she had been starving for a long time and asked why no one in the family had intervened. We explained that Julia had claimed we were trying to poison the baby. The doctors immediately sent Julia for a psychological evaluation for postpartum depression, but it turned out she was faking it. She admitted to the doctor that she was terrified someone would take her baby away and that a friend told her to pretend she had postpartum depression so we would stop bothering her and she could have peace during her breastfeeding journey. The doctors then told her that what she had done was wrong, that she had been regularly feeding the baby milk mixed with cereal before weigh-ins to make it look like Amanda was gaining weight, and that she simply needed to feed Amanda formula by bottle because this was about the baby's life and survival. Amanda now has failure to thrive, and her life and health are in danger. Julia became extremely angry and screamed that she would either breastfeed Amanda or not feed her at all, and that the choice was hers alone because the baby was hers and no one else's. That was when the doctors told Julia that she either needed another psychological evaluation or they would call the police. Julia agreed to the evaluation and was committed for a week. My brother works 14 hours a day because they are poor, and after the wedding Julia decided she wanted to be a traditional wife and that he had to be the breadwinner. Because of that, my brother said he believed whatever Julia did had to be right. But after seeing what was happening, he became furious. He said she had starved Amanda on purpose for her own sick satisfaction, while he was working himself to exhaustion to earn money so they could afford formula if needed. He said he wants a divorce and full custody of Amanda. We do not know if he will get it, because it is rare for fathers to be primary caregivers. The doctors are also angry with him for not noticing what Julia was doing sooner. Before Julia was taken to the psychiatric ward, I lost my temper and told her that she had turned us into monsters, that we were only worried about her and Amanda, and that this entire situation had always been about Julia and her breastfeeding journey, not about Amanda's life. She called me a bitch and said I should have died in childhood because no one can love an autistic person like me. Edit. The doctors say she may have schizophrenia, some kind of psychosis, or a very dangerous manic episode. If the evaluation does not find anything, they will likely not return Amanda to her. My brother admits he made many mistakes. He said he always trusted Julia and wanted what was best for her and Amanda, and he hates himself for what happened. My mom said we will help him financially as much as we can. I also hope Julia will be okay. I liked her a lot before everything that happened, and she was always kind to me and never had an issue with my autism. Above all, I am praying for Amanda. Julia will be hospitalized for a week, and then we will see what happens. We are extremely anxious. Update 2. I received so many comments on my original post and so many private messages that I cannot respond to everyone, so I thought I would post a brief update. First, our little Amanda is okay and is staying in the hospital. She is being fed formula with bottles. My brother had to accept this, and since yesterday she has gained 30 grams. More tests have been done, and we are waiting for the results. The doctors are also concerned about the fact that Julia force-fed Amanda milk mixed with cereal before breastfeeding, because apparently this can cause digestive problems later in life, especially since they do not know how long she had been doing this and Julia refuses to admit it. Second, thank you to everyone for the support, and also thank you for the comments saying we failed Amanda and put her in danger. My mom and I realize this and feel terrible about it. Some people questioned what happened because my previous post in other groups said that Julia was feeding Amanda and doing everything she could to give her milk, and yes, that was true based on what we knew at the time. We did not know that Julia had decided it was either breast milk or nothing. She only said that in front of the doctors. My brother has taken time off work and spends most of his time with Amanda, but he will be moving in with us. This entire time he has been working and then doing illegal overtime, and he is completely exhausted, but he says he had no other choice. He promised he will do everything he can to be a good father. We have no information about Julia right now, but no matter what happens, we are worried about her. She is still family. She has no family of her own. Before the wedding, she said she had a fight with the rest of her family and they cut her off, so she is alone in this world, and that breaks our hearts. We managed to get in touch with one of Julia's friends, Linda, who had been donating milk to her. Linda was horrified by the story and admitted that she was the one who told Julia to pretend she was afraid we would poison the baby, all because Linda's mother-in-law demanded to visit after the birth, and she used that excuse to make people leave her alone. Apparently, Julia told Linda before giving birth that Amanda was only hers and that only she had the right to hold her, and my brother only if it was absolutely necessary. I do not understand this, because my mother never asked to hold Amanda. 2 days ago was the first time we saw Amanda in real life. Linda also told us that she introduced Julia to La Leche League, an international breastfeeding support organization, and that is where Julia learned all the bad things about formula and bottles. It also turns out that Julia never wanted to vaccinate Amanda, but my brother forced her to. Linda said she recommended a couple of lactation consultants to Julia who apparently were not actually trained, certified consultants, but women with Instagram accounts who claimed to know a lot about breastfeeding. That is all for now. This is all the information I have gathered. The most important thing to me is that Amanda is safe with doctors and nurses. I will update when I know more if people want. Edit. I was advised to contact Julia's family to find out why there is no contact, because this may not be her first mental breakdown. We absolutely need background information and family medical history for Amanda's sake. My brother said this is exactly what the doctors are asking him to do, since certain mental illnesses can run in families and they want to understand what is going on. My brother will try to contact them, but we have never met them, so it is complicated. I am sure there is more to the story about Julia being cut off from her family. Julia is not mentally well, and I doubt this is the first time it has caused a crisis. My brother met Julia less than a year before marrying her. She said she came from a religious family and would not wait long to get married. He never met her family because she said they should only meet at the wedding, but they cut her off about 2 months before that. The doctors told my brother he messed up and that he is also Amanda's parent. We are afraid Amanda may be taken away because of this. My mom has already scheduled a meeting with a lawyer. The truth is that Michael also messed up, and he knows it. We can only hope they do not take Amanda away. That is all we can do for now. I will update when I know more. Update 3, happy news. Amanda is currently at our family home and is doing very well. Before I begin this update, I want to clarify a few things. First, I do not know everything. If there are missing details in this story, I am sorry, but I cannot provide more because very often I am not present when conversations or revelations happen. I can only relay what I am told. Second, our lawyer has informed me that for the sake of our family, and especially for Amanda, I cannot share details about the ongoing case. There are now many people involved and many authorities, and I need to keep my family safe and, above all, protect Amanda. She deserves the best. Because of this, I will not answer questions about whether the Youth Welfare Office in Germany is involved, whether there are charges, interrogations, court proceedings, and so on. Please do not ask me those questions, because I will not answer them. Now for the update. Amanda is currently out of the hospital and living in our family home. We will have daily visits from nurses who will check on her and on us to make sure she is growing properly and that we are caring for her correctly. She is currently gaining around 35 to 40 grams per day, which the doctors say is an incredible result. She is pink now instead of gray, and she is very alert and interested in everything. I was scared to hold her because I have never held a baby before, but my mom showed me how, and Amanda smiled at me and played with my braid. My older sister has moved in with us for the time being to help so that all of us can get enough sleep and be present caregivers. Amanda eats every 3 hours without exception. She is bottle-fed and receiving a high-calorie formula, and she seems to be doing well. Tomorrow she will have another blood test, and we are hoping for the best. A couple of days ago, we asked the doctors to ask Julia if she would be willing to provide some breast milk for Amanda, but Julia refused. The doctors told us that she once again stated that she will either feed her baby directly from her breast or not feed her at all. So formula it is. As far as I know, Julia is likely still in the psychiatric ward, since she has not returned home. We do not know what is happening because she revoked all permissions she had given my brother to receive information about her health, so no one can tell us anything at the moment. Before she revoked those permissions, one of the doctors told my brother that she has strong narcissistic personality traits, but that they believe there is more going on than that. My brother, Michael, is aware of his mistakes. He is taking parenting classes, attending therapy, and working on himself to prove that he can take care of Amanda. He will fight for full custody. I cannot share other things that are happening, so that is basically all I can say about him for now. However, he did discover something important and shared it with the doctors in the psychiatric ward. It concerns Julia's family. My brother managed to find them through social media, and when he told them about Amanda and everything that had happened, Julia's parents immediately wanted to come visit her. But Julia's father has mobility issues, so instead they invited Michael to come talk to them. What follows is the story as Michael told it to us. If details are missing, I am sorry, but this is all I know for now. I believe there was more, but he later chose to speak with my mother privately. Julia grew up in a religious family in a small town. She has a younger brother named Sven. Her parents said Sven was always a very sick child, constantly ill with strange conditions that did not make sense, like sudden fevers and stomach viruses when no one else had them. Sometimes he had broken fingers or toes and could not explain how or why it happened. Because of this, the entire family had to care for him, and since they had no babysitters, Julia was always with them at the hospital when they needed to take care of Sven, mostly on weekends. This did not seem unusual to me at first, because I was always injuring myself in silly ways as well, so I could relate. But then they said that when Sven turned 18, he took his belongings, moved out, and went to work in the city. After that, he only contacted his mother occasionally to say he was fine and no longer sick. Julia became extremely upset when Sven moved out. Her parents said she had always been extremely close to him and that they were always together. She became angry, started breaking plates and glasses, and once even punched a hole in the wall after throwing a chair at it. Because of this, her parents asked her to move out. She did, and shortly afterward she met my brother. They were together for less than a year before getting married because she said she came from a very religious family and could not wait. The thing is, Julia is extremely attractive, and my brother is, well, my brother. He was very taken with her and really wanted to be with her, especially because she was educated while he works in manual trades. He always admired her intelligence, and that is one of the reasons he never questioned what she was doing with Amanda, especially because Julia told Michael multiple times that she was the smart one in the house. Shortly before the wedding, Julia contacted her parents demanding money for the wedding dress and the wedding celebration and also invited them. She also pushed for her brother to attend. When her parents called Sven to tell him about it, he said he would never be anywhere near Julia again, not after what she did to him. He broke down and said that all of his illnesses had been caused by her. He said she forced him to eat raw potatoes or spoiled cottage cheese, and once even animal feces she found in a field. She also used to play violently with him, and it always ended with broken fingers, toes, and wrists, 3 times in total. Her parents were horrified. I am skipping over the part where they argued and tried to determine whether it was true, but apparently it was. They said they never wanted to see their daughter again and that she would not receive any money. They said that if they had known who her fiancé was, they would have tried to find him and warn him not to marry Julia. But they did not know Michael at the time, because Julia refused to introduce him to her parents before the wedding. Michael was very angry with Julia's parents for not trying to warn him, but they then said that, honestly, they had begun to believe that Julia was lying about the wedding altogether, since she had a history of lying as a teenager and young adult. They thought she only wanted money from them. Because of that, they made no effort to find Michael and instead focused on Sven and helping him, which is completely understandable. That is the story so far. I felt sick when Michael told us about Sven. This was a couple of days ago, and I am still in shock. It feels so wrong, especially because Julia was always kind to me and never tried to hurt me. I have known her for almost a year and a half. Michael told the doctors, but they could not say anything due to lack of permissions. So for now, that is everything. I will update more when I can. Edit. For those worried about Amanda, she is so tiny, and I was terrified to hold her because I am very clumsy, but my mom helped me and it was extraordinary. I will never have children, so I appreciated this moment of meeting her even more. She even grabbed my finger, and she is so strong. As for Julia, I still cannot understand how it is possible that she hurt Sven, because she never tried to hurt me, except perhaps for that horrible comment a little over a week ago. I know I am naive, and my mom always tells me that I trust people too easily, but I genuinely cannot understand what Julia would gain from this behavior. If she is sick, as some people here suggest, then I can understand that, but why would she not ask for help? When I had problems at school because I am autistic and my classmates mistreated me, I asked my mom for help. Regarding the legal matters, my brother is in contact with the lawyer, who is telling him everything he needs to do, and yes, that includes collecting statements and evidence. The original poster has not posted again since October 9, 2025. If there are legal proceedings, they will likely take a long time. Perhaps there will be another update in the coming months.